There we go. So again, to those of you all who are just joining, welcome again. My name is Miss Southern. I have corresponded with you either via my own personal email, or if you sent an email to excelacademypcs.org, excuse me, excelacademy.pc@pgcps.org. That's me that was responding to you. Okay. All right. So I have to do it in we's and, sometimes anyway, but you all have my personal information now, so you already know who I am. So again, I am the principal of Excel. I just wanted to go through a couple of things. One, this is my first time because we have so many new families coming to our school this year, wanting to make sure that you all get a little bit of an orientation about our school, our expectations, what's needed, and giving you opportunities to answer some of your questions. I know there are many. Some of you have questions about, I have one child in and I have another child. I'm still waiting for that other child to come in. You might have a question in the uniform. Oh my God, they say clear backpacks. What does that look like? Where do I get the information? All of these different things are coming up because things are evolving and moving, evolving. Is the building going to be ready? When can I meet my child's teacher? When can I get inside the building? I know the questions are here. I'm here to give you a woosah. Woosah. Okay. Some of y'all really need that too, don't you? Woosah. Okay. All right. Now, this is the theme of the summer. 3 words. I said it the last time, but I didn't make it the theme, but this is the theme. 3 words. Manage your expectations. Okay. Manage your expectations. When we came together the last time, I asked everyone to tell us what their hopes and dreams are. Many of you, unless your child is in kindergarten, you're transitioning your child from one school environment to this school environment for a reason, right? It could be convenience. It could be the mission and vision it really spoke to you. It could be that you just needed a change because you don't think that where you were was a good fit for your child. There are a number, a plethora of reasons. I just went through a school change with my own child. I put him out of private school where he had been for his whole entire school career and put him in public school for high school, of all things, right? That sounds crazy. Best decision ever. Best decision ever. This is really working out for him. So excited because, he gets to live, because I was probably going to end up being on the news. Anyway, so I say that to say, I understand your dis-ease, your uneasiness in this space where there's a lot of there are a lot of variables going on at the same time. And so I figured more information is better than not. And for those of you all who were not able to be at the first session, there is a recording that is attached to the calendar invite that I sent for the last one. So I'm looking to see. Nope, it's not on this calendar invite. So I can attach it as well, just to make sure that you have an opportunity to go back and review some of the things that we discussed. Also, at the last meeting, I asked parents, what is it that you want to talk about in the next few sessions? And so I tried to, in the bulleted area, give you as many things that I could. I'm hoping to be able to get through everything in this session, including uniforms. It's at the top, but it really is going to be at the bottom because I know that's really what you want to know. Kind of, give a little bit of a piece to that as well. Before I get started, though, I do want to let you know that we have a core group of parents who already kind of jumped out there and said, Ms. Southern, we want to be able to support Excel with a parent organization. We did have one that was functioning, but over the last year, they were not able to continue to function. We had something called a parent, it was a select group of parents that just jumped up and said, Ms. Southern, we will work with you to help facilitate this parent engagement, the parent engagement committee, but it wasn't official. And so this year we want to re-engage in actual PTA or PTO organization. There are a group of parents who have started on that work. And so I want to give the floor to one of the representatives, because I don't know who it was supposed to be, y'all. I'm just saying out there, Ms. Triplett, I'm not sure if it was you, but if one of you guys could kind of give everyone an update on what that is at this time, that would be helpful.
Well, since you put me on the spot.
Because I love you. I love you, Ms. Triplett.
I guess I will share a little something. So we met yesterday, and right now we're just trying to figure out how we want to get the organization off the ground. We are trying to decipher if we want to do a PTO versus a PTA. And this is important because it will essentially determine how we can regulate the organization. So that pertains to dues, that pertains to how we spend the dues, how we, what type of bylaws we have, what type of events and things like that. So right now there's about 7 parents. I'm probably one of the only parents who has a kindergartner coming in. The other parents are a little bit familiar with PTO, PTA, and they have older children. So we are definitely still trying to solicit more interest from parents. We will take all the help we can get. This is very new for us. And because we have to essentially start it up from the ground up again, we just want to make sure we do it right. And we are going to essentially have flyers for back to school night. We're going to try to have a table set up for the building tour. Principal Southern has already advised us that this will be partially virtually and in person. So we just want to do our best. Realistically, we will probably have it up and going by October. So we will definitely keep you all posted, but that's all we have for now. So we're going to keep, nailing away at it in hopes that we can really, do something for our babies and get this going and make it a good thing for them.
Thank you, Ms. Triplett. See, look at that. That wasn't hard. Thank you, Ms. Triplett. For those
You're
of you
welcome.
all who would like to help, I see lots of energy in the chat. So thank you. I'm going to put it here again. I have a link to something called a parent engagement survey. Now, some of you may have already completed it some time ago when it was still back in the spring. If you did not have an opportunity to complete it, please do so at this time. You can click on that link. There's one of the selections in the questions, it asks you for your information, your collected information. And it also says indicate in what ways. Maybe I should show it to you. That would help, right? Teacher, principal. Your information, of course, mine comes up because I'm here. Your information, if you're a returning parent or a new parent, last name, first name, phone number is important because I know you all have multiple numbers, but just the one that we can access you the most. Student grade, any grade that your child is going to be in. If you have multiple children, just check. Would you be able to support the mission? And then this says indicate in what ways you'll be able to contribute, because we have needs in various areas. Serving as a facilitator sponsor for the after school STEM or STEAM club. We do need parent volunteers that are willing to help our students in this area. We already have an organization that's willing to help us organize a STEM or STEAM after school club. Right now, we just need parents. If you want to volunteer as a guest reader, we have times for that. If you want to be a room parent, any kind of decision-making activities, providing resources. And then right here, we have serving in leadership of the Excel PTO Parent Engagement Council. So if you're interested in working in that area right now, not saying that you're not willing to be a member of the PTO, PTA, because everybody and all of you will be members. I know you will. I know you will when that time comes. But leadership right now just means that you're going to help lead the work of bringing this organization together. And field trips. A number of people have asked me, are you all going to be having field trips? Yes, we are. We had field trips last year. Children had a ball. We'll definitely be having even more this year. And then any additional information you would like to provide to let us know how you can support parent engagement for this year. So please, if you would, put that, I'm going to pop that link in there one more time. Okay. Yes, we love it. Okay. So it looks as if, let me see. Oh, it's populating already. I love it. Data on the spot. Thank you so much. And so that is one update that I promised you for tonight. Since I'm talking about clubs, STEM, we are going to be having after school enrichment activities. You know, after school activities, they can be academic or they can be enrichment. I'm really trying to wrap my mind around making sure that as much as possible, that when students are leaving school and going to an after school activity, it will be an enrichment, because I've been in school all day. I've been in school all day, lady, and you want me to do more school at the end of school? That is a lot for some of our babies. Can I do something fun? We already have one of the teachers who's new to the building that introduced a club for me. It was amazing. She proposed it, or she reached out and said, hey, Ms. Southern, you know, what do you think about this? It's another STEM activity, but it's different. So I said, send me a proposal. This was around 1 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, she had sent me the proposal, the goals. This is what we're going to do month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. This is the culminating activity. These are the different things. These are the community partners we want to bring together. I had to get my phone. Hey, how are you? Did you just write this? Yes. But she hadn't, but she said it was an idea that she had for quite some time. She just had some challenges getting it off the ground, or finding an administrator who would get behind it. I'm like, no, girl, just let me know what the budget is, how many students you're targeting. We're on it. So the staff is very, very creative and excited and looking forward to working with your babies. So enrichment will definitely have 2 different versions of STEM in the afternoons. And this is for students throughout. You know, sometimes there'll be a band of students. Last year we had an anime club. We want to bring that back. We definitely want to have an art club, yearbook, student, you know, newsletter, things of that nature, so that we can get students involved. We do have an honor society, National Junior Honor Society. Junior Honor Societies for students in grades 6, 7, and 8. So those students will be coming back. So some things, like I said, that will be fun. I don't have the full list as of yet. We are going to be having some academic support activities, some that will be occurring during the school day. So it's not to have to pull them out and try to get energy from them after their energy is spent. And for some of our students that get extra support, there's going to be something called Saturday Academy, where every other Saturday, twice a month, you'll be able to bring them in. And when I say extra support, I mean students who have documented extra support, students with IEPs and 504s. We're going to bring them in on Saturdays, because we know those students need extra time anyway, right? So we're going to give them that extra time, but then also give them board games and other things that are fun, with snacks, all of that. So it won't be like more school. We had Saturday Academy last year and the year before. When we stopped it, you know, the kids were crying, we don't want to go. Oh, this is the last one. Yes, child, we have to go home for the summer. So Saturday Academy is a great model. Students love it. And so that's something we definitely want to give to students. Someone said basketball. We do have sports teams, but I need you to know too, sports teams in Prince George's County are specifically for middle school students. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, we have a boys basketball team, we have cheerleading, we do have a soccer team that's co-ed, and we have a flag football team that's co-ed also. I have a brand new teacher who played volleyball in college. So I'm going to give her a year to bake and kind of get herself together. And then I'm going to see if I can ease my way into having a conversation with her about coaching volleyball. At one point, we had a step team. We want to bring that back as well. And so those are, you know, some of the things on that end. Also, for our older students, there's a program called math. It's a math related program, but this year they're going to be focusing on financial literacy and helping students learn financial literacy and how to invest. And they have a grant that will help them give students seed money so that they can teach them how to literally invest their money. So looking forward to that. I'm waiting for that proposal to come as well. Lastly, we have some representatives from the National Security Agency who are going to be coming in specifically targeting our 4th graders to support them in developing their mindsets around. We're not a STEM school, but we understand and see that, you know, in a lot of areas in career and college readiness, STEM is where the world, the global market is leaning in that direction. So we're not STEM specific, but they are going to help support with that, and also with global languages and global studies as well, because the National Security Agency, of course, has people coming from all parts of the world. And so what does that look like when you come together? So that is extracurriculars. That's as much as I have for right now. Like I said, I don't have any details because I need to get my staffing in place, kind of know where everyone's strengths are and what people want to do. And then we'll be able to give you a full complement of extracurricular activities after school for students. Facilities update. Oh, I saw before and after care. Oh, for those of you all who were not a part of our meeting the last time, much of the information that you are going to need and or look for is going to be on our website. So I'm going to share my screen, which of course is in edit mode because I've been making changes on the website. So if it looks a little strange, it's not going to look like this for you. It only looks like it for me. Because guess what I had to do? I had to change the address, y'all. Look. Someone said, it still says Scott Road. And I'm like, no, down on the About page, it says Fort Washington. And they were like, no, up at the top of the page, it says Scott Road. So I had to change it to Bach Road. Today, I made that change. But for you as a parent, you're going to come over here to this page that says Parents and Interested Families. You don't need enrollment information because you're here. You do need Seed Extended Learning Program. That is our before and after care for those who are interested. If you are, it won't let me click because I'm in edit mode. Oh, no, it will. So to enroll, complete the application and follow the instructions. This goes here. This is the enrollment form. There's a financial agreement, health form, things of that nature. Now, just because you complete this enrollment form, it is a Google form and our charter operator operates the before and after care program. The principal does not. So it's technically a separate program, but just housed in our building. As you go through everything and you fill out everything, right? You have additional pages. Just because you fill this out, it does not secure you a spot. You don't get a spot secured until you put your deposit down. How much that is, I don't know, because you have to go to the next page in order to figure that out. And the principal doesn't have as much time to fill that part out right now. So I just wanted you to see what it looked like when you go to it, okay? So if you would like before and after care, that's where you find that information. Here on the drop-down memo, we're going to skip this. We had this conversation already. Classroom supply list. This is where you can go for your child. I know some of you have already been there and already put things in your cart and things of that nature. But the school supply lists are here in a sheet tabbed at the bottom by grade level, okay? There are hyperlinks here that will take you to an example of what that item looks like on Amazon. And I only picked Amazon because it was easy, y'all. It was easy because this was a bear. So it doesn't mean that you have to get it from Amazon. I just wanted to give you some examples. It says pencil box. Oh, look, here are all the places you can select a pencil box, right? Just take a look at the list for your grade level. If you want to get your things from the dollar store, you know you can get everything from there as much as you can. Please do so. The only thing that I ask as an educator, please do not get dollar store pencils, and please, for the love of all that is holy, do not get dollar store crayons, okay? You get dollar store crayons, just buy your baby some birthday candles and have them color with the birthday candles, because it's not going to work. It's too much wax. So that is, let me go back. Now I have all these tabs open and my tabs look like my brain right now. Boom. Okay. So this is where you find the supply list on our website. Let me go back one more. And then you also find the uniform policy here. I'm going to go over the uniform policy, but if you want to see it all on one page, it is here. Okay. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. But I'm going through it in more detail right now today with you here because I love you that much. All right. And then there are other links up here as well. Like I said, the grading policy, if you want to know about food and nutrition, if you want to know what the lunches are, this is the Excel calendar for lunches. Of course, there's nothing here because we're not having lunch yet. They haven't loaded our lunch menus as of yet, but if you go back in time, you'll see the lunch menus from last school year, just as an example of what it looked like. If you wanted to add money to your child's account, you can come here to My School Bucks, log in or set up an account, put some money in there so that when your child, every student gets a student lunch number, they go through the line, they put their number in, the money comes out. If you plan to bring or send your child with lunch every day, you of course may choose to do so. However, for safety's sake, I would say still put a little bit of money on that account, because every once in a while they'll go through and a parent will say, I don't understand why I have a $30 balance if my child doesn't buy lunch. So your baby did buy lunch on these days. Here's the account. This is when they bought them. They go back and talk to the child. They had pizza. I wanted the pizza. You didn't know. Okay, so have a conversation with your baby about that on the front end, because that's really important. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my agenda just to make sure I'm getting through PTO, PTA, extracurricular, facility, uniforms. Facility, let's go with uniform. The facility is on time. Yes. The facility updates are coming in. The building is there are two phases of the building. Phase 1 is going to be completed on July 31st. Look at God, won't he do it? So after July 31st, the challenge that we're having, and it's going to be done before your kids come, it really impacts us more than it impacts you guys. The challenge is getting our fire inspection certificate in time for the teachers to come back, not for your children to come back, because it'll be done by then, but in time for your teachers to come back. But our HVAC system is on a truck on its way to the DMV to get installed into the building. There's a temporary HVAC system built right now, but that temporary system is not going to pass inspection. So we have to get the new system in, get it uploaded, get it charged, excuse me. And once it's in, then we get the inspectors in, they say, yes, you pass, and you go from there, okay? So the facility is being updated. If you want to see some more recent pictures, feel free to go to our Facebook page. I literally just went there yesterday, took a bunch of pictures, acted a cold fool. I was so excited. It's so pretty in there, y'all. I am a firm believer that every child should be able to go to a school in a beautiful school environment. And it's going to be gorgeous, seriously. We are a little compacted right now because phase 2 isn't going to be done until after winter break. So some of our 6th grade, 2 of our 6th grade sections will be in temporary spots until we move over to our, until we open up the other side. Okay, now, facility. So I'm going to move now to orientation and tour dates, since we're talking about the building. Everybody wants to get in the building, right? Everybody wants to get in the building. We're slated to have 486 students, which you might as well say is 500 students. And if you're talking 2 adults to every child, it's 1,500 people. We cannot have 1,500 people in the building at the same time. It won't work. We will be overwhelmed and pulled in 35 different directions. So here's what we're going to do. Thank you, Miss Erin. I appreciate you. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a brief orientation, and we're going to do tours in 3 grade bands. And you will have to sign up for the tour that you want to do based on your child's grade band. So we're going to send you the times to say it's going to be in the morning of the 25th. So I'm just letting you know that now. It's going to be that morning, but when you come, it's going to be based on what grade your child is in. Again, if you have multiple children, you pick one, because you don't need the tour twice. You already been here through once. You back again? No. So just pick one and you'll be fine. Okay. And please, once you select one, stick with that one. All right. We will need to facilitate the tour, having people come in and come out the 25th of August. Did I say July? I didn't mean to say that. I apologize. If I said July, that should not have been said. Friday, August the 25th is Student Orientation Day across Prince George's County Public Schools. Every school does student orientation. This for us is just a little different because we're moving into this new space and we want to give everyone an opportunity to see the building. Normally, we have new students and kindergarten students only, but this year, the principal said everybody wants to see the building, so we're going to give you an opportunity. Now, at the beginning of that first slide, at the very beginning of that first slide, we're going to do an administration message. Hello, how are you? It's going to be very brief. That is going to be hybrid, right? So the people who are in the first slide will get that message because they'll be in the room with us. Everyone else will get the Zoom. You will see that virtually and then later come into the building. Does that make sense? You got me? Okay. All right. So we'll send that information out as soon as possible. I'm going away for the principals conference. PGCPS principals and administrators are going away for a conference next week. So I'm going to be engaged in that work from Monday through Thursday. So if you guys have questions, I may not get back to you as quickly as I have been, but I promise you that I will get back to you. Okay. So that is orientation. So hold on to that date. Again, back to school night, September 12th for kindergarten through 4th grade, September 14th for 5th through 8th grade at 6:30 p.m. in person in the building, unless we hear anything otherwise from the district. Okay. The facility, orientation, uniforms, supplies. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh, one more thing, I do need to say this. Everybody say communication and say positive intentions. So here's what we want to do. We want to make sure this whole registration exercise, lottery, it can be frustrating. It can be confusing. It can be a little stressful. This week, I received a report that someone had some very serious energy with my secretaries over the phone. Y'all, how many of y'all dealt with my secretary? Miss Bennett White, anyone? Miss Bennett White, you dealt with Miss Bennett White? You look at somebody's like, yes, yes. Okay, you know where I'm going. Miss Rogers may not have been able to help you all the way, but she might have sent you to Miss Bennett White, who could help you all the way. I need y'all to take good care of my secretaries. Please do not call the building with negative energy, reaming out my secretaries. That's not what we do at Excel Academy. We're excellent. Okay, and so we may have frustrations. We may have some things that we're still trying to work through this process, but I promise you, it is not the fault of anyone that you're on the phone with. And we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that you get what you need and to advocate on your behalf when it comes to the district if something switches. Here's an example. There was a switch in the method of which you sign, you accept your seat. It switched this year from when people did it back in March and April and May and June to like right now. So some parents that registered their children, and this wasn't a parent, but I'm just using this as an example. Some parents registered their children earlier, and then when they went to register their children this month, they were like, wait a minute, this isn't what I had to do with my other child, right? Things switch. That's not a school level thing. We don't control that, but we can get as much information and try to walk you through it and advocate as much as possible. However, we want to make sure that we model positive communication for in front of our babies and our scholars. So please, y'all, take good care of my secretaries. They don't need to be getting beat up in the middle of the summer. Okay, we good? All right. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen. And here is my presentation. A quick one. I stole this from another school, just so y'all know. This says share. No, that's not what I want. Present. I don't want to share it. Y'all, this is not letting me do what I need to do. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Excel Academy Charter School Uniform Policy. During the 2023-2024 school year, Excel Academy, y'all gonna see mistakes, so don't judge me. Excel Academy will continue our mandatory uniform policy. We have been a mandatory school since our inception. Students are expected to be in compliance on day one and remain in compliance until the last day of school, unless otherwise indicated by administration. We do have non-uniform celebratory days. We do have college t-shirt day. We do have pajama day. We do have Spirit Week. So students will have multiple opportunities to be out of uniform, but we are asking that students are in compliance from the beginning, and it sends a very subtle but very firm message to students when they know that this is a requirement, and definitely sends a message when they know that adults are encouraging them to not be in compliance with that rule. Because if I'm telling you as a parent, you don't have to do that, then what else do I not have to do as a student in the building? Does that make sense? So it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. Consequences for failure to comply will be shared during this presentation. So again, I told you I wanted to make this simpler for you all. So these are our shirts. These do not correspond. The colors don't correspond with the chart. I'm gonna just let you know, I wanted the chart to be in grade order, but find your baby's grade, you'll know what shirt you should get, okay? Again, as you know, this is the same exact picture that's on the website. That's why I wanted you to see that, so that when this presentation is over, you can always go back to the website just to check. The shirts can be long or short sleeve, okay? And then these are the bottoms. For elementary, our students wear navy blue bottoms, pants, slacks, shorts, skirts, jumpers. If your baby girl wears a skirt or a dress, it should touch the knees, which is why I have this picture over here, so you can see the skirt is very much touching the knees. Cheerleader skirts are very popular these days. Cheerleader skirts, especially for, you know, some of our more mature young ladies and even our younger girls, when they bend over, you know, we don't want them to expose everything for everybody. Boys, yes, your pants need to be pulled up. Do you have to have a belt? A belt is not required, but parents, if you feel you want your child to have a belt, your son to have a belt, please do. In some instances, a belt may not necessarily be appropriate, especially for younger students who are still having fine motor issues and are still learning to manage buttons on their pants, right? So having that extra layer of that belt just gives you more opportunities to have an accident in the bathroom. And we don't want to do that. For my son, who literally has fine motor issues and still does to this day, we went with no belts, even though his uniform said he had to have a belt. I was like, the uniform says a belt. They were like, he doesn't have to have a belt. So please know your child, know what works for them when you're making a decision about whether or not they should have belts, and just how the clothes, THES, clothes, period. Okay, over in middle school, 6th through 8th grade, same standard, but we're going with a tan or a khaki, and the same rules apply for touching the knees, okay? In school outerwear, this is a controversial subject, especially now because many of our middle schoolers, particularly those older students, older primary around 4th and 5th grade, like to wear hoodies, and they like to wear their hoodies over their heads, and they're outside and it's 95 degrees and they're outside in their hoodies. And there's a lot of conversation about hoodies. Hoodies are not allowed inside the building. Hoodies are not allowed inside the building. No hoodies, none, okay? If your child does wear a sweatshirt, which they can, you see the sweatshirt right here? It has 0 graphics on it. Now, this was on Amazon. Again, Amazon, I'm not just saying Amazon, I don't work for them, but I'm just saying that because it is very easily accessible. Some people say, I can't find anything with no graphics. You can, okay? Just if you jump on it now, especially this time of year, this is when all the sales are going on. So if you jump on it now, you'll have a better opportunity and a better chance of getting what you need. So for the elementary side, we have navy blue shirts, navy blue sweatshirts or sweaters, and it can be a traditional, it can be a button-up sweater, also a vest. I didn't put that up here. It could be buttoned or zipped, but the sweatshirts again have to be without hoods. On the middle school side, they can do navy blue, or they can also do black. Again, no graphics. They can be a sweater. It can be buttoned or zippered, and a sweatshirt without a hood. All right, it's 7 o'clock. I'm over my time. If y'all need to go, you do what you need to do. Indoor headwear. Headwear worn indoors can only be done for religious or medical purposes only. Example, if you wear a yarmulke or a burqa, you must obtain prior permission from administration. If you have an emergency circumstance, you need to let me know. Hey, Miss Southern, I had a little fungus in my scalp. My baby had a fungus in their scalp. They need to wear a cover. Okay, not a problem. Send me the documentation. You're good to go. Does that make sense? But this is a Prince George's County Public Schools policy. This is not an Excel Academy policy. I'm just repeating it so that we can be clear of what the expectation is. All right. Shoes, controversial. So I'm going to tell you what the policy is, and then I'm going to give you my mommy opinion on the back end. So I'm going to put my admin hat on first, and then I'm going to take my admin hat off, and I'm going to put on my parent hat. Is that okay? All right. So here's the policy. Excel's uniform policy indicates black shoes as the requirement. So we ask that families adhere to that. If there's a special circumstance, please communicate with your grade level administrator. It should say administrator. I'm the elementary administrator. Ms. Reese is the middle school administrator. It says shoes can be casual or athletic, but must be closed-toed and closed heel. No sandals ever. Not even on like, oh, it's a field day. No. No sandals ever. No flip-flops ever. Definitely no Crocs are allowed due to the risks of slips, falls, and projectiles. And when I mean projectiles, I mean the things that project their way in between your children's toes and on the back of their heels. Okay? There's too much running around, playing and kikiing that happens. And we've seen too many things happen where children get damaged, children get injured because they don't have the appropriate shoes on for a school environment. Athletic shoes are always your best bet because at some point your children are going to have PE. If you don't want to be the person kind of figuring out, is this a PE day or not? Just get them some black shoes, right? So the examples I gave here, you got your little Mary Janes, you got your shoes here, and even this shoe right here, I consider this a black shoe, okay? Everybody say black shoes. Give me a minute, I need to drink this. Now, my mommy hat says it's difficult finding all black shoes, right? I know it is. So 2 things about that. And I've answered that with a couple of parents. Do the best that you can to stick to the all black shoe requirement. Do your best, okay? If you absolutely positively cannot, again, if you start early, you probably have a better chance of getting it done. It's okay. Here's what's not okay. Pink shoes, neon colored, purple, yellow, red, yellow, black and white, not black, but all of the other colors and mixtures of the rainbow that are not black or close to being as black as you possibly can get are not acceptable. Okay, at some point, sometimes kids just be like, "Oh, why do you have on pink shoes?" In the winter time, I know it gets a little, your baby's feet, and they have these cute little Uggs. You want them to wear cute little boots. Okay, you need to determine what that's going to look like because they need to have on black shoes inside the building. Okay, so you're going to send her in the boots and then send her with the shoes in her backpack. What does that look like? But black shoes inside the building. Okay. Oh, last thing, the school uniform policy is implemented by the PTA. This all black shoe requirement was implemented when Excel started 17 years ago. Things have changed. So at one school where I was a part of the community, the PTA actually bought that to vote. And the majority of the parents stated that they did not want to have a black shoe requirement, that they wanted the shoes to be any color shoes. It passed and they changed it the very next, I don't know if they changed it that school year or the next school year. So please know that, you know, as a voting member of your PTO, PTA, whatever we're going to call it, you have the right to make that shift if you think that's not appropriate for the year of our Lord 2023. Okay. I'm just, like I said, I'm telling you as a mom, as a parent advocate as well, this is what you can do if you feel like that is oppressive. My son's high school, they don't have a shoe color requirement. They just, you know, there's certain shoes they just can't wear. And it's still in uniform. These are prohibited items. Again, we talked about the hoodies. Sweatpants are no, unless they're coming into my middle schoolers. A lot of times come in and have sweats. They'll change in to their sweats, but then they need to be back in their uniform clothes by the time they have class. Jeans with holes in it. Sometimes we let the children wear jeans and then you want to wear holes in it. No holes in the jeans, ma'am. Even if there's material under the holes, no shredded clothing, okay? Leggings are a no-no. Crop tops, bare midriffs are prohibited in Prince George's County Public Schools. Also, no scullies and caps. Definitely no bonnets, no scarves, no do-rags, okay? All right, let your baby leave those at home. Consequences for non-compliance. Student will be removed from class to contact parents. We have to tell you, you need to go to the office, you need to go to the counselor's office to let your parent know, to ask your parent if they could bring you something in uniform. If they have to be removed for that time, they don't get to make their work up. So whatever they were working on at that time, they would get a 0 for that. That would be unexcused work. We will document the behavior and the children will be placed on a no-go list for special school activities. Kids don't like to be on a no-go list. All right. So please, there is an administrative procedure that it can be found on our website, Prince George's County Public Schools Administrative Procedure 0600 for additional details and behavioral responses, and also the Students' Rights and Responsibilities Handbook, which I will also be sending to you all electronically. The uniform policy, the updated uniform policy, and the responses to noncompliance are in that as well. All right. Now, the time is 7:07, so I really just went over 7 minutes. Again, I'm going to look at my agenda, make sure I talk. Oh, the last thing is staffing. This is quick. I'm almost fully staffed. As far as classroom teachers are concerned, y'all, this teacher shortage is a trip. We have had to, and you know, a lot of people say, oh, I joined Excel because it's the backpack wasn't there. Wait a minute. I had a whole slide about the backpacks. Please don't tell me it disappeared. It sure isn't there. I'm sorry. Backpacks. Clear backpacks for students in grades 6 through 8. It is on the supply list. But I do need to elevate that. So some K through 8s are requiring that all students wear, bring clear backpacks to school because they're like, it's an equity issue. We don't want some to have to do this and some to have to do that. Elementary school, I feel as an elementary educator that young children should have the option to have a different kind of backpack if that's not a requirement. If you decide that you want to give your elementary age student a clear backpack, that is completely and totally up to you. There's no backpack requirement for elementary students. because the backpack requirement has a motive and a purpose, that motive and purpose generally is not seen. The data doesn't demonstrate that that concern has been an issue on the elementary level. The data across the district has demonstrated that it is a concern on the middle school level and on the high school level, which is why Ms. Southern is differentiating and saying elementary, whatever backpack you decide you want, middle, we're going to go with it because that's what the county said we have to do, and because we want to make sure that everybody feels safe. Okay. I'm in a lot of the online groups on social media. Some of you all are in there with me. And it's just interesting. There's so much energy around the clear backpack requirement. And I personally am giving you my personal opinion. I don't understand. You're going to get your baby a backpack anyway, right? So whether it's a requirement that is clear or not, like, come on, it's a small thing. It's a small thing. And most of the people that are not happy about the backpack requirement haven't had to be in a school where you had to worry about your safety for 7.5 hours and 190 days a year. So I did give some, they said transparent. So you said clear can be a color. They need whatever the color is, it shouldn't be so opaque that you cannot clearly see what's in your child's backpack. So if it's pink, like it can, and I'm saying pink, y'all know I'm partial pink. If it is pink, the tint should be clear enough so that I can see what's in your child's bag. If it's so opaque that I can't see, then that's going to be, a concern. So again, like the shoes, you know what clear is. So do your best to comply with what the request is. It's clear for everyone. Yes, clear backpacks for all students, grades 6 through 8. Lottie-dottie, everybody. Okay. Staffing, I was saying, I have 2 more positions to fill. I had a lot of turnover this year with our move. Many of our staff members who did transition out, they, went to Excel because they were they're based from the central part of the county. And so they have kids, right? And so moving from Landover to Fort Washington, how do I get my kids on time? I have another job after work. I'm not going to be able to get there on time. I got to get my mom from physical therapy. There are all of these other moving parts because educators have lives outside of school. And so I wanted to support them in whatever it was that was comfortable for them. What is going to work for you? And then turning back around and filling those slots. So everybody didn't leave. We have a good chunk of people who did stay, but there was a big transition, especially on the elementary side. That being stated, these new teachers coming in, they are coming in with the energy. Again, if you go to our Facebook page, 2 of our new teachers came in yesterday. Miss Southern, we're coming up here to get curriculum materials. Girl, it's July. Like, what are you doing? Oh, no, because by this time I've usually done my plans for the first quarter, blah, 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 blah. Like they're coming in with energy. They're coming in with ideas. They're trying to put things in place for your babies. I absolutely love it. So after I get these last 2 classroom positions filled, then we'll pretty much be good to go for the school year. I have some support positions I still need to fill, but I haven't been really focusing on them because I wanted to focus on the classroom positions, but I can turn to the support positions after that. So I think that was everything that was on my list. Now, drum roll. Again, the time is 7:14. So I'm going to do my best in 15 minutes to go through all of your questiones. And then I do have a little bit of a poll, just a quick one question poll for you at the end, because I do want to collect data and make sure that these meetings are giving you what you need and giving you the information that you need. Okay. Oh, let's go. So enrollment, sibling enrollment. So last 2 weeks ago, I sent an email out asking if you had a child who had a sibling that had not been enrolled yet, for you to message me so that we can communicate that to the district. Many of you I did hear from, so thank you for hearing that. It was probably about 15 children that we were looking at that we needed to get in. Most of those children were invited in on this particular cycle. We're now inviting parents in on a weekly basis, And some of you all that are here have not submitted all your documentation. And the county said, if after a certain time you haven't submitted all your documents, we're supposed to send you out. So if you know you haven't submitted all your documents, you better become very good friends with Ms. Bennett White, who will not be at work tomorrow because we're off on Fridays very soon. Because if at the end of the month on the 31st, if you don't have all your documents in, they have to flush you out. Okay, so make sure you submit everything. If you had students in certain grade levels, we had more spaces. I've been encouraging my the challenge is my parents who are not planning to come are not withdrawing their children at the rate that is freeing up the spaces so that your sibling children can get in. So a chunk of siblings were able to get in, but we still have a few spaces that we need freed up. Ms. Bennett White is working very diligently to withdraw a number of those parents last week. Poor little thing, I left her at her desk. She was sitting at her desk. She had like a stack of files. It was like this high over her head because she's like this tall anyway, y'all. Okay, wait till you see her in person. You'll be like, oh my gosh, she's so tiny. Stack of files that was this high. This is my mother. I'm not going to answer my phone because I'm with y'all. So if my mother fusses at me for not answering my phone, I'm going to say, I was on with the people, Mom. So she is withdrawing a lot of those families to make those spaces. But for those of you all who do have siblings, we've already identified with the district who those children are so that they can make them a priority. When the space is up, they get the first slots. Okay. If you did not get an invitation for your child, it's because one, you might be a new registrant, new meaning like the last couple of weeks of June, maybe the beginning of July, or there just weren't enough spaces to offer out for the number of students. We have a lot of you who have sibling enrollment. You want them to get in the 4th grade. But if we only have 3 slots and 10 children that we're trying to get into that slot, then we have to do what we said, which was we have to rank you in order of when you registered your first child. Okay. Now, paper registration, paper wait list. A lot of people are like, oh, my child is on a paper wait list. You have one that was on that got in either kindergarten or 6th grade, but you have another student on the paper wait list. So again, we have to exhaust the county wait list first before we go to the paper wait list. For example, 1st grade, right now we only have 13 children on the county wait list for 1st grade. And it's probably going to be even less than that on Monday, right? So within the next couple of weeks, those of you all who have 1st graders and you're trying to get them in, will be able to transition and open the doors for 1st grade. Hey, anybody that wants to come can come. But the first people who get all of their documents in, you're the ones who are going to get the seats, right? So we're working on 1st grade. The 3rd grade county wait list right now has 60 children on it. 60. What does that mean? We have to offer 60 seats from the county wait list before we go to the third grade paper wait list. Okay, I don't know what it is about third grade, but everybody wants to move their children in the third grade. Third grade and fourth grade, those are the most popular outside of kindergarten, which is natural. Okay, we still have vacant seats in sixth grade. So if you have any friends that are looking for a good school for their children and their children are going to sixth grade, you tell them to give us a holler. And eighth grade is filling up pretty fast. So that's where we are with that, just in case. Okay, so I sent the form for people if they were interested in the parent engagement. Make sure you're on that, and I'm going to share your names with the ladies who are meeting with Dr. Jackson from the county to help get the organization together. Necessary information, partner with your organization. Angels, iPhone, please make sure you give me that info. Basketball team, we talked about. Chorus. And does that start in middle? That's a good question. Chorus starts in the fourth grade and transitions all the way up until they go. And instrumental music also starts in fourth grade and transitions all the way up through eighth grade. Mr. Boysaw selects those students based on his schedule. He has practices with students during the day. We do have a winter concert, usually in December, like the week before Christmas. And winter break, and then we have a spring concert at the end of the week. We also give students opportunities when we can to perform at different evening assemblies. So, they'll have an opportunity to keep the pipes warm, okay? So please make sure that he will invite and send that information out. Yes, for basketball, yes, we did. It's the organization for me. That's funny. We're having reunions in the chats. Yes, Ms. Haynes, yes.
Is there any way you could tell us how many classrooms there are for each grade?
Yes. In kindergarten through fifth grade, there are 2 classes per grade. No class ever has more than 25 students, okay? This year in kindergarten, we have 22 and 23, just to try to keep that model small, but everything else is 25 all the way and up. Once we get to sixth grade, because we're expanding our sixth grade this year, we have 4 sixth grade sections. When those sixth graders go to seventh grade, we will have 4 seventh grade sections. And then when and we'll keep the 4. So eventually there'll be 4 sixth grade classes, 4 seventh grade classes, and 4 eighth grade classes. Again, never going beyond the 25 number. So eventually our building will have 600 students. But you can't just do that all in one year. So you have to have a way to kind of gradually increase your numbers without kind of going crazy, because when you increase your numbers, you need more resources, more staff, all of those things as well, make changes in your schedule. It's a lot. So that is what we are working with for this year. Before and after care, socks. Let's go with blue socks. There's no requirement for socks, I will say that. So I'm not going to be, I prefer blue, but the uniform doesn't say, so what am I going to say? Before and after care, yes, we did talk about that. Do sixth graders have recess? No, in Prince George's County, sixth graders do not get recess. Boo. We talked about pants and skirts and skirts. Milk alternative. If your child has a medical, like a documented medical allergy or something with milk, please make sure that you put that on your medical information and documents, because what happens is, and yes, there is a milk alternative to answer the question. What happens is the nutrition staff gets that information from what is in our healthcare system. So if you don't indicate in your documents that this is an issue, it won't come up as a flag in nutrition. My child has a peanut allergy. When he goes through, it's like, nope, no peanuts for him. And it flashes up for the people at the register. But there's milk and there's juice. So for children who can't do milk, they can do juice. Okay. And then the menu that I showed you also will show you which items to stay away from based on certain allergies. If there's a soy allergy or wheat allergy or milk or whatever the case may be, those will come up as well. Encourage everyone to fill out a lunch application. Yes. Thank you. Ms. Goodman Turner, are you working? We're about to put you to work for real. Everyone, do please fill out a lunch application. Thank you. Construction increases instruction. I never heard that. Okay. Not a problem. Shirts color coded. Yes, that is, we have different colors. And inside the building, it helps because I can look at a student and say, okay, that's a second grader. Even if I don't know, I know which direction to send you in the building or where you should be and where you shouldn't be based on that. Or you talk about Miss Bennett White. I'm going to send her all of these comments so she can get that. Let's see. Do fifth graders need locks for lockers? Yes, that should be on the list. If it's not, please let me know and I'll make sure that I fix that. Okay. We talked about the first day of school is the 28th. Shoe requirement. There's no PE uniform, but they should be in sneakers when they have PE. And if you want, you can send them to school. Let me go with middle school. You can send them to school with clothes for PE. With our elementary students, they just have PE in their regular clothes. They don't need to change, and they don't change. Picky with shoes, yes. Socks, backpacks, we talked about. It's on the school site. Yep. Thank you there. Oh, this is about whether or not they should have required clear, like, give the babies a little rainbow braid backpack. Let them go. Clear for the boys, colored purses for the girls. If girls, we do know that girls have specific needs. So if they have a purse, we don't have a specific color, but we do ask that it be a very small, like the same size purse that they'll let you take inside of the MCI Arena. I say MCI Arena, that's not it now, is it? Capital One Arena. I'm old, y'all. I said MCI, I show all of my age. That's awful. But yes, a little tiny purse, something that they can put their personal product in and maybe one other thing, but not like, you know, little girls have purses better than mine. Okay, it doesn't have to be, because the issue is it becomes a risk because some people help themselves to other people's property. I can't, it just happens, y'all. It happens. Okay. So we'll go from that. Dismissal process, elementary and middle. We have not worked that out logistically yet because the parking lot is still in the works. And because we're not physically in the building, it's kind of hard to do that from a distance. But hopefully by the time we get back together on the 4th, we will have that worked out. So I'll write down dismissal as a priority for our next meeting. Just make sure your baby's picked up on time, whatever that looks like. If it's you coming to get them, if they're going to aftercare, if they go to grandma's, make sure whoever's coming to get them picks them up on time. And be patient the first week. I don't even care where we are, the first week of school at any school, arrival and dismissal. I say this phrase, pack your patience, pack your patience. It's going to be slow. People are still getting used to things. Sometimes, you know, the little youngers are still trying to figure out where to go, all of that. Pack your patience, okay?
I have a quick question regarding the school pickup and drop off.
Yes.
Because my daughter goes to the current school across the street,
Okay.
and I live down the street, I commute on that street every single day, 3-4 times a day.
Okay.
Is school planning on putting a request in with the state to put in a stop sign or a stop anything? Because there, like you can't see the school until you're over the hill.
And people, and that's a good question, and people are so used to school not being there. Listen, when we were trying to go over and cross the street just for a staff visit of the building, we parked over in Nationals parking lot. And then I had to be the crosswalk. People were flying down Bach Road, flying. Nobody's used to energy and people being over there. And someone, even got into a little energetic conversation with me because he didn't stop. I'm like, hey, this is a crosswalk. I know it's a crosswalk. I got somewhere I need to be. Hey, I don't care. This is a crosswalk. So we had to get across the street like Frogger. I'm showing my age again, right? Get across the street like Frogger. I'm like telling people to run, come down, no wait, like that's a lot. So we definitely have requested that we have a crossing guard. We're working on that. As far as a light or a stop sign or a speed camera, I think the community has to request that. I don't think that we as a school building can request that, but I'm not sure. So that might be the first big ask of the PTO, PTA.
I was going to say maybe we could
parents.
do a petition to
Yeah,
the county to bring something in.
yeah. And for those of you all who are in next door, you might want to start putting, some things in. Hey, we need to get a petition. My child is going to be going to the school. We want to make sure our kids are safe, whatever that looks like. During the winter, Timberlands, we talked about boots. School hours, all students enter at 7:40. Elementary students begin to dismiss at 2:00. Middle school students begin to dismiss at 2:30. If you have a middle school student and an elementary student, we will not have your baby hanging out. What we have done at times is telling parents, if you know you have a child in both grade levels, don't come at the beginning of the dismissal. Like, come towards the end, because it's going to take us a minute to get through all of the elementary babies. And then if you do come at the beginning, come, but be ready to wait, because you will have to wait until we dismiss the younger ones. Okay. Is there just one transportation company we're using? Yes, but of course you are free to use whatever company. There are other companies out there, but we were using this one transportation company because they came to us first. Children awaiting lists, daughter, we talked about that. Color socks, locks for locker, we talked about. Saturday school is just for IEP and 504 students, yes. If you have students that are kind of like, struggling kind of on the bubble, we use data. We have to use their assessment data to make that determination, because we don't have, unlimited resources, but we want to make sure we use our resources for students who have that. Nobody's asked about tag though, not one person, but we do have tag pullout, just so you know. So we try to support students who need differentiated instruction on the acceleration part, and students who need remediation.
I'm sorry, what is tag?
I'm sorry, talented and gifted. So if you have a child who, based on the assessment information, demonstrates giftedness in the ways that the National Council of Talented and Gifted Educators has stated giftedness looks, then they do get services in our building. There are also whole entire schools that are considered talented and gifted schools, that at some point, if your child is identified, you can determine that you want your child to go to that school instead of at our school. There are, advantages and disadvantages on both sides. Last year, we had a family, they pulled their children out. They went over to the tag school. Their girls cried every day. The father called me. He was like, Miss Southern, please, can my girls get back in? I'm like, sir, you lost your seat. So now they have to be on the wait list. And he's like, please, please. I'm like, sir, they have to be on the wait list. Like, I can't help you. So he's like, I didn't know. No, we talked to you about it, but you thought that you did what you thought was best for your children, but you still have to go through the process. But they came back. So yay. So we do provide that. For those of you who are asking me for specifics about specific grades, I don't know that. I don't have that in front of me right now. If you're willing to hang on, I can look, but I'm gonna go through these questions first, and then I'll come back and give you the answers about how many children are on the county wait list for specific grades. Okay. Talked about school hours, school can ask for a stop sign. Okay, great idea. Van riders dismissed. Again, we don't have any details on dismissal because we're still figuring that out, but we'd like to get that to you. In the past, we would have our vans come up. We've done it different ways. The vans sometimes will come up and get in line with the cars, and then we would say, all students for the B Academy, if you're a B Academy students, you can dismiss at this time. Then all the B Academy kids go out at the same time. But the children will have to know when they say B Academy, you get your Y2C on out of there. And the teachers can support with that too until children get used to that. Do we have National Junior Honor Society? Yes, spoke about that. We do have a chapter, the Eagles of Excellence. We inducted 30 members at our last induction ceremony back in June, and we do induct students on an annual basis. If you have a student who wasn't in National Junior Honor Society at their school, once they're a member nationally, they are a member at whatever school they go to. So if you have their membership information, please share that with us, and we will make sure that we transfer them over to our chapter. Yes. Did we discuss school security? We did not. We are having school security. Yay. So there is a security stop as you enter the building that all visitors of the building will have to access prior to them coming in. There will be someone on the desk for most hours during the day. There is a period we need to work out in between because a person who's assigned to the job is doing a split shift. So we need to figure out who's going to be at that desk during the time when he's not there. He will be early in the morning before care starts. I think I smell pizza. Before I told you I just had the cheese and the crackers, right? Now smell things coming up into my office. Before care starts, he'll be there for a period of time in the morning, help get through arrival and everything. And then he'll split the shift and come back just before dismissal begins and stay throughout aftercare being there in the afternoon. So yes. Rules and regulations on hair color. No, none at all. We have teachers with purple hair, so what can we say to the children, right? Activities for elementary. Yes, many of the activities we talked about are for elementary students, but again, we're going to try to make sure that we find an equitable way to cover, as many grades as we can with the number of teachers that are going to be able to support for some of those after school activities. We will keep you posted. Email, phone number for the before and after care contact. Yes. You are going to email. I'm going to reply to that one specifically. 2222. Yep, Miss Lumpkin. She's the education director for our before and after care. She's actually hiring as well. So you can reach out to her if you have any questions. You're welcome. And again, the school hours start. Oh, thank you, Miss Triplett. I appreciate you. Look at leaders, parent leaders. All right, it's 7:39, y'all. We've been on for a long time. And I know you have things to do, so I'm going to let you go. Our next meeting, our final meeting like this is going to be Thursday, August the 4th. I said I was going to launch a poll. Can y'all do this for me, please? I do so appreciate it. Um, all right. So the question says, it's just one question. The question says, did this session support your needs and it should say you, make you feel more prepared to start the school year with your scholar? Yes, somewhat, not so much. It's up to you, okay? If you could just very quickly participate in this poll before you exit, I would be so appreciative. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for engaging and making me think of things that I had not even thought of myself. They enter at 7:40. That's a good question. The question is, the school begin at 7:40? They enter at 7:40 and have breakfast. Instruction starts at 7:50. But I say 7:40 because I don't want your baby to be what? Late. Okay. So if you think 7:40, you'll get them there at 7:40. If you need some additional help, then you let me know. But we want to make sure that they're definitely in school and in school on time so that they can get what they need. They can transition in, take their time, be like, what did we do when we first came into this meeting? Woosah. Woosah. I know me when I'm rushed and I'm like trying to get someplace and then I get there and they've already started. I don't know what is going on. I get confused. It's too much. And it overloads me as an adult and it makes me feel unsuccessful just because, I didn't get to a place on time. That's why more times than not, I'm never late because I don't function well when I show up late somewhere. So that is that. We have 66%. We're going to keep this open for a couple more minutes. Again, if you guys have any questions, you don't have to put them in the chat. Feel free to unmute and ask a question. And
I think people are having a hard time finding the poll.
Oh no, not hard time finding the poll. Again, I think that's part of the mobile device piece.
It came up on my phone, but then it disappeared when I clicked on it.
Oh, I don't know. And I can't help you on the back end.
No, go down the bottom and scroll over to the side where it says more. It's 3 dots that says more. Click that and you should see the poll. Do you see it on your phone?
Somebody said if you have
I did find it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Beach, can you send me an email just to let me know? I'm just adding my I think this is my email address.
Yeah, sure, I will.
Here we go. The name of the transportation company is A&K Transportation. They have a specific page for Excel. Let's see. Here we go. This is the contact information for A&K if you want to know about the transportation. Kimberly Waterman is the person that you want to speak with. Okay, 100% participants in poll. And the results are, oh, y'all, listen. I was an A student, so I love anything in the 90s. I love anyway. I'm realistic though, because I know every session doesn't necessarily meet everyone's needs, but I'm really thankful and grateful that this session and the sessions before, if you were able to participate, are meeting your needs. It is helping to ease your anxiety and make the transition be a lot more comfortable for you. So you all have my email. If you have questions and things come up, please feel free to email me. If I can't answer the question, like I said, I'm gonna be out of town next week, so I may shift you to Miss Reese or someone else that can help you more immediately. But if you have any questions that come up, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for spending this evening with me. And feel free to, I see you, Miss Angel's iPhone. Can you send me your document? You know what I'm talking about, right? Send me your document. Okay, yep. Yep. Yes, send me your document. All right. With that being stated, you all have a great evening. And
Thank you.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. Last session, 2 weeks.